for future reference. Alrighty, so welcome today for your Career Catalyst session on refining your resume. We'll also be looking at your cover letter. A good thing about this session is because we have so less people today, you can all have a chat with me directly and ask me questions if required. If you want to stop me at some time and ask me questions, please raise your hand. There is an emoji for that, and I can maybe chat with you there. This is me. I am Namata. I am a placement coordinator at Intern Match, and I also do a lot of sessions with Study Melbourne. Intern Match is a partnering organization with Study Melbourne, and we've been doing a lot of employability skills workshops and webinars. That's my LinkedIn QR code. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can. And before we get started, let me just help you understand two amazing events that's coming up in this week itself. So you're one attending right now. This is Resume. However, if you wish to refine your personal brand and learn more about personal branding and how to present yourself better in a public forum, you must attend this in-person session. So it's all about personal branding and how, as international students or migrants in Australia, you can refine yourself and present in the best way possible. We'll have two amazing speakers this Thursday, Rosie and Prachi. They both have been working amazingly in the industry. More about their personal brand and how their journey was. I will be facilitating the session. So if you want to meet me in person as well and get to know more about Prachi and Rosie, it's best that we attend this session. It will be on this Thursday at the Study Melbourne Hub, which is in Hardwade Lane. And special is that you'll be getting free LinkedIn headshots for yourself. So if you want to come to the session, please carry a formal shirt or wear something formal, and you can get your LinkedIn headshots as well. So I'm really excited for this event because we speak a lot about our resume and our cover letter. There is a very important aspect to preparing yourself for jobs, and the market is personal branding and how to present yourself. So maybe you can have benefit from this event a lot. Now, the other event that we are having is quite a big one as well. So this is going to happen on 18th October, the week after. And this event is quite a big one. As I said, it's called Career Quest. It's a networking event, so we'll have a lot of guests there. There's going to be a keynote speaker who's again a personal branding coach. And then we have a few panelists. We'll be having a discussion with them. There's going to be a Q&A, but there's going to be the entire Intern Match team present there, so you can have a chat with us. Come meet us, do your networking, and also meet fellow, students and other international students. There's also going to be a representative, a talent acquisition from Seek, Nicola. There's going to be another senior managers. So it's going to be a very good, productive event. And also it's going to be at Sea Life Aquarium, so it's going to be another fun event where you're going to be amongst all the sea life, as well as meeting and networking great people. So another event to look forward to. Here is the link for it. So if you can have your phones out, you can register for these events using this QR code. I will stay here for a minute. And if not this, you can always go to our socials or go to Study Melbourne website. You'll also get the event links there. But yeah, quite exciting events coming up. Personal branding is my favorite, apart from resume and interviewing. And while we go through this webinar today, guys, I'm going to help you understand where all your personal branding kicks in. So in the next event, you can always practice those skills and also help you in your job application process as well. Alrighty, hope you registered for the events here. Now let's dive quickly into resume. As I said in the beginning, since we are only 5, 6, attendees here, if you want to switch on your video, please, more than happy for you to do that. If you want to unmute yourself and talk to me, I'm more than happy. I can do this as a Q&A, sort of like a conversation than just me talking. So as soon as someone's open a video, I'm more than happy to have a chat with them. Nice to see you here, Jamie, though. It's one name that I'm familiar with. So good to see you here again. All right, let me just go quickly into resume. I'm not sure if others have attended our webinars before, but this webinar is part 2 of another webinar that we did a few weeks ago, which was more on resume and focusing more on your skills and work experience section. Here today, we're going to focus more on cover letter. Obviously, we'll go through the resume's essential points, but we'll focus more on the cover letter. Now, resume is your very first impression of how your skills and your career journey is portrayed in one page and how you introduce yourself to your potential employer. So in a resume, we obviously want it to be brief and succinct and have the best information put in the best way possible. So you want to have those 2 pages quite well written. And of course, the difference between a cover letter and a resume is quite vast, I would say. There have been a lot of candidates, and the resumes I've seen, they have a huge career summary, which essentially is like a cover letter. Now, having a cover letter elements in your resume itself may lose your chances of having your resume selected for the recruitment process. So make sure that your resume has a short brief about your work experience and skills. So we use only short words and dot points in a cover in your resume. However, in a cover letter, we explain more about why you are best fit for the role, not just your skills and work experience. So it's more of a pitch rather than just your resume. And these days, a lot of people are after cover letters. I'll come to that and some different pointers on that as well. Sorry, it just went back. Oops. All right, now this data is something that I'm always interested in. When I was doing my research as well, I found out that it only takes 6 seconds for a recruiter to review one resume. Now it could be it takes more than 6 seconds, at least 30 seconds, but in those 6 to 30 seconds, your resume should highlight all the important information you want the recruiter to see. It could be your technical skills, it could be your education certifications, or it could be some work that you've done somewhere. So a recruiter definitely has a lot of resumes to review, and out of that they wouldn't be reading each and every word. So it's important to format your resume the way it should be. For example, if you take, there's one job opening, and for that there are 250 resumes, and out of that 250 resumes, only 4 or 6 candidates get selected for an interview, and out of that only one would get the job offer. So that's the narrow margin of acceptance, only because of the competition. There are so many people going for the jobs here. So from data, we understand that 70% of resumes get rejected because of 3 main reasons. One, the keywords. You might not use the right keywords. Then formatting can be an issue, and missing the human element. Now, if you want ChatGPT to develop your resume, it very well can. However, there's always a missing element of your human touch. Say, for example, if I am submitting a resume, I would like a bit of me to be presented as well, not just words and skills. I would add a bit of my personality in the way I write my career summary. So that's the human touch to it as well. Now, a lot of resumes go through an application tracking system, ATS. A lot of big corporations and organizations use this tracking system, so that because they get such a big influx of resumes, they want to filter out. And when they do this, a lot of resumes get rejected only and only because they might have not used the right format or the right words. So it's again very important to focus on how you present your resume as well. We'll look at different aspects of it here. We have a Canva template here that we have. So we developed a resume internally. If you wish to use this template, you very well can. The link is also on your link, or the QR code works fine. So it's on Canva. It's a free template. You can edit it on the platform itself. I would suggest going around and looking for more resumes if you want to. Canva has a lot of different templates present, or if you wish, Google also has a lot of templates. So it's up to you how you want to format, but the essential formatting is to have 2-page resume only, and I'll go through each and every section what is important here. All right. Obviously, these are the top most important parts of your resume. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. It starts with your contact information, followed by your career summary, or your career objective, followed by work experience, having your education certifications and qualifications. There's also a part of professional development, which is sort of new. We will have a look at that. And then last but not the least, having your skills section, which is very, very, very important. Let's dive into it. Now, with the contact information, quite basic, it should essentially be at the start of your resume, and it should have your full name. If you have a preferred name, have your preferred name in brackets, have your phone number, your email address. Very important to have your LinkedIn link as well there. And last but not the least, your location. Now, your location can be something, how much you want to share. If you want to just share your suburb or city, it's more than enough. You need not share your exact address and location because it's sensitive information. Sorry, so just having your own location would be fine. But this is how it should ideally look like. So if you have downloaded the template that I had on the screen, this is the template you have, and your first section looks like this. This is the contact information section. So if a recruiter wants to give you a call, they can directly look for your information here in the top section. Alrighty. Second is your career summary and your career objective section. Very, very important part, because this then highlights, develops the flow for the rest of your resume. Now, this is where a lot of resumes might get rejected if you have like 3-4 paragraphs long of an essay of who you are and what you've been doing. This section has to be very small and briefly explaining what you've been doing. Now, on your screen, let's focus on the one on the right side here. It's more of a career objective rather than career summary. It's for someone who is a recent graduate or who's not had a work experience yet in the industry. So look at the wordings here. I'm a proactive, motivated, and skilled graduate, having recently completed my master's from the University of Melbourne. With a can-do attitude, I'm fascinated with people management, and I'm excited to commence my career in talent management. So here in the career objective, it's clearly written that you've just done your master's in HR from Uni Melb. You have a good attitude. This part also highlights your personality. You're proactive, you're motivated, and you're quite excited to start your career journey. So having an objective with just this concise, it's more than enough. Now, if you look at the information on your left side, which is it's like a career summary, which explains, it could help someone who's had work experience before. You could add in numbers there. You're highly motivated and skilled HR manager with 5 years of work experience in this organization. Your career highlights are that, then you start using words. You've handled 75 employee firm. You've reduced the recruitment lead time by 35%. You've increased the retention rate. So these are the sort of terminologies and technical words you can use in your career summary. So this is summarizing your career summary, what you've done so far. And career objective is something you're trying to tell the recruiter who you are and what sort of role you're looking for. Now, obviously, if you are somewhere in the middle, you can use a combination of both. You can start by saying you're, you worked in the industry for more than 2 years. You carry these skills, and my objective is now to look for a role in talent management. So you can always transition. You can say a bit about your career summary and then transition into your career objective, what sort of roles you're looking for. So sorry, I have a message here. I can oh, that's fine. No worries, Jamie. I will share all this information would be available to you on email as well, so don't worry about that. I will share that once the session is done. Now, this is where your career summary should come up when you tell a bit about yourself. So it could be a combination of career summary and career objective. Up to you how you would like to present it. Now, the education section, of course, quite brief as well. If you feel like you've not had experience in the industry yet, you can add your marks and your grades as well. However, it's not necessary. You need to keep it very short. So it should have your education provider's name, your degree and the qualification, and the year obtained. It could be in any format, but these are the three important things. So an ideal example is on your screen here, guys. Bachelor of Business in Marketing, that's your degree. You've done it from La Trobe University, and you studied from 2020 to 2022. So this is a sort of format that should come, and always mention the date. It's very important to have dates in your resume. That gives the recruiter an idea about your timeline and your journey as well. If there's no date, it's very confusing and ambiguous. You don't want that. You don't want to do that for your recruiter. You want them to have a clear understanding of your timeline and your journey as well. So in your education section, this is how you can add in your degrees and qualifications here. Now, work experience is very important part. But while I'm here in the education and qualifications, I'll quickly jump into your professional development section as well. Now, you might get confused why there are two different sections. Now, education section is where you would highlight your degree. It could be your bachelor's degree or your master's degree or a diploma you've done. However, in professional development, you should add the courses you have done apart from the degrees. So if you have been upskilling yourself, say if you're a software developer, of course you're doing a bachelor's in IT, but you might be doing some courses on different platforms. You must be learning Python or SQL, Java, elsewhere. So you can add those sort of courses in this section. It just shows the employer that you've been upskilling yourself a lot. In case you've not done any certifications yet, you can have just one section here, which can be called as education and certification. So in that, you can just add all the your skills and certifications you've done in your journey so far. It can also be just one section. All right, let's get into the work experience section, which is very important part. It tells you of who, what, when, where you worked with who, for how long, what were your tasks and responsibilities, and it should be in a chronological order. So it should always start from the most recent role going back into the past. Should not be that you start from the past, say your 2013 work experience, then 2020 and 2023. Now it should always start with the most recent one to the one going back. Now let's look at a format here. I've taken an example of a retail assistant. So in the retail industry, it's a casual job. And mind you, the season for retail jobs are coming up really soon. Melbourne, especially during Christmas time, a lot of opportunities open in casual positions in retail and hospitality. So if you're looking for some part-time roles as well, this is the time to start making applications as well. So you can always take a screenshot of this example on your screen here. Very effective. It's of a retail assistant who worked in Nike factory outlet from March to June in Melbourne. So just briefly explain what is Nike factory outlet. What do they do? So they sells rejected Nike products from main retailer at subsidized rate. Done. Just a brief sentence about what the organization does. If you're working as a barista in a cafe, you can just write a quick short thing about cafe, that it's a cute little cafe at the corner of Burke and Swanston Street, and it sells beautiful muffins and coffees on over weekends. So just a small snippet of where you're working, and then your roles and responsibilities, which is very important. Now, this is an example here. Now, if I can ask someone to just jump in and talk, I'll be more than happy. Can anyone tell me what is the highlight here? Like, what do you see that is different from your current resume right now? If you want to put it in the chat box, you can, but I just want to understand, do you have a similar work experience in your resume right now? Anyone, guys? All right. You guys can just talk to me. There's no problem. All right. Don't think anyone's in a talking mood today. This is my favorite part of work experience, where you mention things about assisted up to 50 customers daily. So it's a brief of your role as a retail assistant. So if you go to Cotton On, H&M, or even Nike, there are people on the floor working around helping. So that's how you mentioned here. One very important thing here is that you should highlight the important words here. Say, for example, assisted up to 50 customers daily. So in the first sentence itself, it shows that, all right, there were 50 people that you were managing every day. Thanks, Lee. Thanks for replying to my question. That's all right. So here, it's important to have the words highlighted. There's also another thing here. If you see assisted, organized, promoted, prepared, managed. Now, these words are action verbs that are very important in a work experience section. And a lot of resumes get rejected through an application tracking system if the words are not consistent. Say, for example, if you mention assisted, organized, promoting, prepare, managing, maintaining, if you do this sort of language, then your resume will get rejected, because the ATS is tracked it's formatted in such a way that it has to recognize a consistent format. This is called parallel writing. Now, if it's not correctly done, your resume will get rejected, and it doesn't even look right. So always ensure that you have the same tense that you're using. It should be either ending it with ed or ing, or it should be present tense. So assisted, organized, promoted, or promoting, preparing, managing, maintaining. So you should always have a same writing format. And it's always best to have words such as you've engaged customers, you maintained the stores, you increased 50% of my shift was maintaining payments. So you should always add some numerical data as well. So I feel this is a very good example for you guys. And obviously it helped me a lot when I was doing my casual jobs as well. Now, if you don't have a work experience, you've not worked in an industry yet, you've not even had a part-time or a casual job, you can always reflect back on your projects or your volunteering experience or any extracurricular activity you've done. Say, for example, you've not volunteered yet, you've not done any extracurricular activity as well. However, as a student, you must have done a lot of projects and assignments. You can use project section to explain your professional skills. Say, for example, on the leftmost side of your column here, you see Mondelez International is the organization you work for as a student consultant from May 2017 to May 2017. So it's just a month you've mentioned. Now you say what you've done in your assignment. You worked with a group of 4 students, you conducted some qualitative and quantitative research, and then you gathered the data, gained insights, discussed the inputs, and then created a presentation using Canva. So it's anything like another, assignment. It's a teamwork. You've been given a case, you do research, you look at some recommendation, and you present it as a group. But I mentioned it in such a professional way that it looks like it was a proper work sort of an experience. So always, you could, here in this section especially, it shows the first point that you did teamwork. Second point shows, all right, you were good at research. Third point shows, all right, you gathered data and gained insight, so you have a technical or analytical mindset. Then as a team, you put these inputs into a Miro board, so you're showing you are quite proficient in using new platforms and softwares as well. And then at the end, you used Canva to make your presentation, so it shows a bit of your creative skills as well. So at the end of the day, recruiter wants to see all these transferable skills. Are you a team player? Do you have technical skills? Do you have analytical mindset? So these are all the important aspects that you've just mentioned through your project or assignments. Similarly, you could use a volunteering experience or any extracurricular activity in your uni. If you are involved as a student ambassador, if you've been in peer mentoring, or even if you're part of a club, any club in uni, you can mention the roles that you've done there as well. So of course, in Australia, having work experience or showing all these extracurricular activities holds a lot of importance, and recruiters really like to see, if you're a recent graduate, if you've been involved in university activities, it's always a plus point. So if you've not yet associated yourself with any university clubs, it's the right time to start looking for some interesting clubs in your uni. These are action words. Now, as I said in the work experience section, action verbs are the words that you use to convey what you did. So you can take a screenshot of this, but there are also a lot of words available online. This is a very important screen here. If you can use the words on your right side as opposed to words on your left side. So if you're responsible for something, you could mention words like you've managed, achieved, or transformed. If you supported something, sorry, you could use words like collaborated or partnered. If you've got excellent communication skills, you can mention you empowered someone, or you influenced people, or you influenced your team, or you collaborated well, or you designed and delivered. So these are very important heavy words that are very useful in resume writing, and these are called action verbs. All right, do we have any questions so far, guys? Anyone? All right, everyone's quite quiet today. Alrighty, let's move on here. So this is the work experience in your resume. This is how it would look. Again, please mention the date here. It's very important. If you're not following this format, it's another format. Please have the dates. Again, very important for the recruiter to know. Thanks, Karima. Not at the moment. That's all good. I'll move on then. These are your skills section, your technical and professional skills. Now, the difference is quite obvious. Technical skills are the softwares or platforms that you've used as part of your studies or work. However, your professional skills are your personality and soft skills that you think that makes you a good professional. A lot of recruiters focus on your soft skills more than your technical skills, because technical skills can be developed, but soft skills are something that needs to be nurtured over a long time. Now, if you were a retail assistant, or if you were working as a barista as well, you could mention things like cash management, customer service, people management. All these sort of things in casual work really helps. If you are studying IT, again, you should mention all the programming skills you've mentioned. If you're doing a data analyst course, mention skills like Tableau, SQL, MATLAB, MS Excel, all the sort of technical skills that you think have used in your as part of your studies. If you're doing marketing course and you have been exposed to digital marketing, content creation, social media campaigns, add these terminologies in your technical skills as well, like SEO, SEM, um, email marketing. All these sort of terminologies really help your resume stand out. So because, as I said, recruiters have a very less time period to review your resume. So if you have all these words written point by point in a good section, then it will be highlighted well, and then the recruiter would know, all right, they have these skills, this is their work experience, I think it's time to give them a chance for an interview. So obviously the aim of a resume is to get you guys that interview. So again, if you want to take a screenshot of this, you can, but I will move forward. As I said, professional development section was the certifications or the short courses you've done apart from your main degrees. So if you've done Google Analytics or LinkedIn Learning, it could be RSA or even food handling or safety certificate. You could add all of those things in your professional development section. Alrighty. Now we quickly jump into the cover letter section. Here is the template. It's also, you can search it by the link here. We've also developed a cover letter template. A lot of candidates are required to submit a cover letter while making an application. Very interestingly, these days, the recruiters are able to recognize who has written the cover letter, if it is ChatGPT or yourself. So it's always best to add your own touch. Even if you're using ChatGPT, please don't depend on the platform entirely. Have your own personal element and touch to the cover letter as well. It is very important these days, but I would, rather than having a cover letter itself, if you have an email ID of the employer who has posted the job or who's looking for candidates, it's always best to write an email of why you think you're best suited for the role and attach your resume to it. So let's look at this. This is the format. Of course, always start with your name and your contact details. Then to the person you're sending it to, their information is very important. The company name, the role that you're applying for, if there's a job listing, add the number, and the contact person if you know who that person is. Obviously have the date when you're submitting, the position name, that's your subject line, that applying for digital marketing position at ABC organization. Then always start with greetings. It could be dear or respected or hello. I always do dear. It's common and nice. And the first paragraph should be a very brief introduction. Now it could also be the same paragraph you used in your resume as part of your career summary section. So you can have that and just introduce yourself. It should show your motivation and your interest for the role that you're applying, because that starts your main agenda for the recruiter to keep going down and reading your resume. Then the second part starts your main body. Now this is where you start to elaborate more on why you are fit for the role. Now cover letter can be developed by looking at the job description or the position brief that has been posted regarding the job. These are the 5 skills or the 5 responsibilities the candidate would be doing. You take those 5 points, put it in your cover letter, and then tell them by each point how you will fit the role. Out of those 5, if you feel 3 are out of your scope, it's fine. Mention the transferable skills you have. Say, for example, I'm not a data analyst, I am an HR, but I've worked with so much data of candidates. I can tell them that I've not worked on, I don't know Power BI. However, I worked on a CRM platform. I worked with a lot of candidate data. So I'm very good at data management and data reporting. So even if I don't have that particular skill, I have another transferable skill. So if you could use your skills that you've developed during your study time as well, and show your strengths, that these are your strengths and career goals, and this is how your role, yourself, you will fit into the company. Also add a bit of culture there as well. Show them that you have a great personality, you have a can do attitude, and with that personality, you can be like, I could add great value to the team and be a good team player and a culture fit. So it's always best to do your homework as well and make the main body very persuasive. At the end, concluding, just reiterate it very briefly why you think you'd be a great fit for the role. Show proactiveness here and willingness to act. So if you could also mention things like, I may not have all the skills required for this role, but I feel I'm a quick learner and I'm quite proactive, so I'll be able to fill in the shoes quite quickly. So these are the sort of words and terminologies and the tone you can use in your cover letter. At the end of the day, your cover letter is your pitch, and you need to convince the recruiter why you feel you're the best one for the role, or why you feel you should be given that chance to have a chat with the company. So yeah, this is ideally how your cover letter should look like. But guys, this is the end of the webinar. I don't have any further information. Again, we are back on the events here, but this was your cover letter, and then of course your resume needs to have all these important sections. Now we've got more time here. We've got about 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, please ask me now and we can just have a live chat as well. I'm more than happy to monitor the chat box. There's one question from Lee here. Is resume 1 page or 2 page better? Lee, it depends on the work experience and the information you have. If you feel like you've got a lot of information and work experience to share, I would stretch it to 2 page. 2 page is quite ideal. Your first page could have your career summary, your skills section, education section, and any other certifications you've done. And your second page could be filled up with your work experience. If you feel you don't have a lot of work experience to share, then 1 page, format it in a way that your skills are there, your work experience is there, and your work experience, and your education section is also fitted quite well. It should not be too cluttered. So spacing it out is always a good idea. 2 page, it doesn't harm. So I hope this session was helpful, guys. It's again, your resume is subjective. Please make a resume according to the job you're applying for. The one resume would not fit all the roles, so always twerk it and draft it in a way that you can change some wordings to the role that you're applying for. And also with the cover letter, always have one general resume and cover letter ready. As soon as you are applying for roles, just change the terminologies and some wordings. But yeah, I'm quite excited for the events that's coming up. Very, very excited for the personal branding session that comes in on Thursdays, which is in 2 days. If you want to ask more questions about your resumes, you're more than welcome to attend that session and have a chat with me. If you want to look at your personal branding and how you feel you can present yourself better on LinkedIn or even on your resume, this is a great session, because these days LinkedIn is more famous than your resume. So recruiters not only review your resume, they look at your LinkedIn as well. They see how you present yourself, what content you're presenting. Do you know your personality well or not? So these are very important areas of development. In Australia especially, people love how candidates present themselves well and, brand yourself well. So it's going to be a great session there. All right, I'm going to be here for a while. If you have further questions on your resume or your cover letter, if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, I'm going to keep the link here. Any questions, guys? Lee, do you have any more questions, or Karima? All right. Thanks, Jonathan. Hope it was helpful for you. Karima, I have a question. Okay. Would you advise reaching out to a recruiter before applying for a job? Could you give me a little more context to this question, Karima? You can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so just for example, let's say there's a job vacancy with a job description. Usually they have the contact details of the recruiter. So, sometimes they say, if you have any further questions, please email me at blah, 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 blah. So I've been told that sometimes it might be worth contacting that person directly, just to even ask, what are the scopes of the job? What's the day-to-day like? What's the culture like? Just so that they remember you, so that when you apply, they recognize your name, or it kind of stands out a little bit. So is that something you would recommend?
Yes, you could always give it a try. There's no harm in contacting the recruiters. If you're confident that you're being professional and you're asking legitimate questions, it's more than okay to shoot them an email and be like, "Hey, I'm Karma. I'm quite interested in the role that you've advertised recently. I just had a few questions before I made an application. However, this is my resume. Attach your resume whenever you're sending an email, and be like, I'll soon make an application. But if you can help me with these questions, it will help me, sort of draft my cover letter according to the role."
Okay,
So
thank you.
it's good to always ask, yeah. But remember, it's the recruiter's contact information is in the open, so it's not just you. There are going to be million others who would be doing the same. So add a bit of your touch, I would say,
Yeah.
in your resume or in the email that you're writing. Use some words that will ensure that they remember you.
Okay, thank you.
All good. There's one more. Would you advise sending out a resume to HR manager? Lee, I think it is a similar question to what Karima just asked. Always send your resume to the job poster or someone who has, of course, if it's on LinkedIn, if someone has applied, posted that job, that information is there of that person, you can directly message them or contact them. Yes, sending a formal email with your resume is acceptable. um it's always good to connect with HR managers if you know they are the HR manager of the organization on LinkedIn, and you could always share a message there that, hey, I've applied for this role, I'm keenly looking for a reply. So if you feel it's a form of follow-up as well. But if it's the HR manager themselves who posted the role, of course you can contact them. Yeah, make use of LinkedIn as much as you can. These days recruiters are using LinkedIn left, right, and center. So if you know the organization, you could always go look up the people who are working there. Most of the companies are present on LinkedIn, especially small to medium sized organization. They're quite active on LinkedIn. So you can always look at the people who are working there, connect with the people, and see, ask them what sort of day, how their day goes by, and and then make an application. So it also shows the company that you're sort of showing initiative and proactiveness, and it shows that, okay, you're really keen to join this company. Yeah, so LinkedIn is something you can always look for. That we have a few LinkedIn sessions as well, and in the next in-person event for personal branding, we'll talk a lot about LinkedIn. Another question, is there a way to find company's list of employees, or do you just type the company name in the search bar? So on LinkedIn, of course, whenever you type anything, a name or a company name, you have options like jobs, companies, groups, people. Click on the people. Say, for example, if you write intern match on LinkedIn, and then there's an option of looking at people. When you click on people, it will show all the people who work at LinkedIn, whoever has mentioned it on their LinkedIn profile. So that way you can look for people on LinkedIn as well.
Would that get mixed in with students? So let's say, for example, if I wanted to find work at a university, would
Mhm.
I get a mixture of students and staff then?
Yes, you will. But then yes, in people's you would, but then when you're doing your research, you'll quickly understand who's a student and who's a staff member. Because
Mm.
for a staff, they'll have in their work experience mentioned as the uni name, but of course, students will have it in their education part.
Sorry, I just got one more question if
Go
no
for
one
it.
else wants to ask.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, is it fine to contact a current employee who's working in a role which you are applying for, just to get a better understanding of the job?
110%. You most certainly should do that. If you feel, get the vibe of the company that you're applying for. If
Mm.
you feel like the way I did it for intern match, I contacted a colleague who was working here at that time, and I was like, hey, I'm applying for a role here, I just wanted to understand what the company looks like, and we had quite a nice conversation on LinkedIn. It
Mm.
helped me, sort of make my cover letter better. And when I got selected for an interview, also I told them that, hey, I had a chat with one of your team members, so I knew more about the role and the company as well. So it showed that I've done a lot of homework already.
And
So
how did you reach out? Did you just connect or did you just send a message straight away?
I think you have an option. So when you do connect on LinkedIn, you could also send a quick short message.
Yeah.
And then it's, of course, it's up to the person who is, you're trying to connect
Mm.
with, if they reply or not. I would say take your chances. But in the personal branding, world, it's called shameless marketing. Now, if you are very keen to join a company and you feel this is the role for you, do whatever it takes for you to show yourself you're out there. So I was very keen to do a role in intern match because I, sort of loved these sort of events and workshops, and this was my, skills.
Mm.
So I did everything to connect with people on LinkedIn. So I contacted them, messaged them on LinkedIn. I also messaged all the people I knew. I sort of messaged the co-founder, and I got a reply from co-founder. So depends, if you're looking for a role in uni, look for someone either who has passed out or who is currently working, most certainly in the HR area, to see, okay, this is the recruitment team. Try to connect with them and see if you can have a chat with them. But yeah, just shooting a message would do, but obviously also understand you might not get a reply,
Mm.
but it's always good. If you don't get a reply, it's fine. At least you're giving your best.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So this is also a form of networking, guys. So if you feel, Karma, that you are looking for a role, but you don't know anyone directly, however, if you connect with me, I might know someone, or I might have those people on my network, on my LinkedIn. You could always utilize my networks as well.
Mm.
So this is a great form of networking as well. Alrighty. Any other questions, guys? We have a few more minutes. This is your chance to ask me any questions. I do this every day on resumes and LinkedIn and interviewing. Okay. If nothing yet, I will end the meeting. It was good talking to you, Karima. Thank you, Lee, for replying. Thanks, Jonathan. You've all been quite great. If you want to leave the session, you may right now. I'll just hold up for a bit, but thank you all. I hope to see you all in our event this Thursday. It's going to be a great one. I will be there. My team would be there. There will be people from LinkedIn. So you could connect with them. The speakers, sorry, they're not from LinkedIn, but they're quite active on LinkedIn. There's some very big influencers. So if you want to have a chat with all of us, you can come there.
Is there a limit to how many people can attend?
No, there's no limit.
So
It,
the capacity size of the venue is quite large?
I mean, depends. Are you getting your entire class?
I was thinking of asking some students from my uni to come along.
100% come along. So have you been to the hub, Study Melbourne Hub before?
No, I haven't.
No, that's fine. It's quite a spacious place, and there's always room for people. We love more the merrier, the better. That's a
Okay.
better way of having a conversation. So if you want to get your classmates as well, but ensure to register before you come.
Okay. And if they register on the day, that's still fine, or is there a deadline for the registration?
It might get booked out by then. It
Okay.
just might. It's always okay to register and then not show up. It's fine. At
Yep.
last minute changes, but if you want to, it's fine. If you register on the day and you can't register, just show up. That's
Okay.
all. Don't stop yourself from not attending an event because of all these admin things. Just show up. We'll register you on the day itself.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
All good. Thank you, Karma. Have a great day.
Same to you. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye all. Thank you.